Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Doodle Robot and today I'm going to go through my 2025 favorite coloring books. I've got a top 15 and I think one or two are a category, but most are the books. And then I've got a few honorable mentions. So under honorable mentions, I have not so much a book, but an artist, which none of their books made it into the top 10. Doesn't mean they're not fabulous. So we got Lulu Mayo. This is just representative of her books. I have all of her books except the newest one, which I will eventually get at some point. But for some reason, I don't think I even colored in her at all this year, but I have to get every one of her books. They're just so adorable. I love her illustration style. I don't know why I don't pick them up and color in them more. But, you know, sometimes I'm just off on this tangent or that tangent. I have a lot of tangents. So some of the artists that I kind of went off on a tangent this year are more in the top 15 that I selected. So there's Lulu Mayo, and in the same category as Lulu Mayo is Rita Berman. I have all her books. I think this might be her favorite book of mine from all her books. And it's funny because I almost didn't get this one. But when I opened it and saw it, I quickly realized it was my favorite. Probably because it has animals and bugs, lots of bugs and lots of animals. So again, don't pick her up enough and color her, but maybe that will change this year. We will see. Although I've got a series of video subjects that I want to do, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. And then another kind of honorable mention is Kaiser coloring books. These are purchased in the U.S. at Hobby Lobby. I think they're from Australia. And I don't like them all, but I like the ones that are like this. They are, I'm told, done by real artists. They're not Shutterstock. Well, Shutterstock has real artists, but artists sell their stuff on Shutterstock and people buy it, so you might see it in more than one coloring book. I am told that these are done by an artist. I love these. I think I purchased all of these this year, and I do have another one in this category. Kaiser books that I inherited from a relative who passed away. I like that one too, but I think I purchased all of these this year. They kind of are very similar, so I'm wondering if they are done by the same artist. They got a lot of animals. They're very kind of beginner friendly, I would say, for the most part. I think. Maybe not. Maybe you don't think if you're a beginner. I don't know. And this one, Adventures in the Deep. They're all very similar. I like that a lot of them have some big open spaces where you could alter things and do backgrounds as you wish. Some not. You could just color straight in them. These have bold, dark outlines and the designs inside, which I tend to like. These are simple, easy to do designs. My brain likes designs, so yeah. So those are my honorable mentions. I would like to start these this year. That's kind of a goal, among many other things. So starting with number 15. Number 15 is a category, and it is my design book category. And I included, so in this category, these are the two design books that I've been picking up a lot when I want designs. I just love this one. This is Amazing Patterns. This one is by Coloring Book Kim. I haven't put this one away because I just want to do it. It's easy to just pick up some alcohol markers, pick up, 5, 6, 7, 8 alcohol markers and just go to town with, kind of a mindless meditative activity. And I really favor this book. I think I did just 2 recently. I did that one. This one's from a long time ago. I love that one. And I'm not going in order, that just so happened to be. This was a buddy color with Crafty Chemist. There's a lot of chemists out there, so I have to be careful. And that one was a color. Jamie's Coloring Love did a color palette, so that was a follow along to her color palette. But yeah, I really like this one this year. And the other one that's kind of in the design category, actually this one says mandalas, but I don't know how designy it really is 50 Spiral Mandalas. I've picked that up. I've been favoring it this year, last year. I love the ones in this book though. They're very simple. I'm not big for a round circle on a rectangle page, but I do like to alter things, so it gives me the opportunity to alter things, which I like. And that's the same thing. Camilla Angelkova. This is also Camilla Angelkova. In this 50 Halloween Mandalas, best mandala book ever. Same issue, I would say. Circle on a rectangular page, but I got this one because I'm like, oh, I can go crazy altering that, and I do love to do this one. I try to do one every Halloween, and usually I do another one. That's one I did this year. Another one during the year where I alter it. So, yeah. So those are kind of in my design category. All right, so number 14 on the list. I'm going to be throwing stuff on the floor. Now, some of these I did not favor this year, but they're still up there as in my favorite books. So these are all, now we're into books. Now, this one, classic comic coloring book, sci-fi and horror. That's the original one I got. That's my favorite one. I then had to get the other one because it's got a lot of sci-fi stuff in it too. And they're just awesome to color. They have, you can look up the historical cover and color it just like that, or you could do your own thing. I like to look up the historical cover. It's kind of like a paint by number, but without the numbers. So, yeah, I love these books. Nice, thick, dark outlines. I love the comic book cover. Advertisement art. I love that sort of thing in this sort of style. It's a theme, but these are kind of an all-time favorite. Let's see what did I do in this one. Captain Midnight. But this one has more sci-fi stuff, so I tend to favor it a little bit more, but I'm really glad I got these. I don't think these are in print anymore. I don't really know. A lot of these may not be in print anymore, so sorry about that. Okay. What are we on? Is this 13? Magic Dreamland. I'm not sure if we worked in this one this year. This was a group, and this group became either my Hanna Karlzon group or my Fairy Tales and Folklore group. But we did quite a few pages in this. So yeah, that group morphed into something else. But this is a really good book. I saw this somewhere. I can't remember where. I'd have to refer back to some video somewhere to tell me where I saw this one. But you'll see a lot of this stuff, a lot of my books have a very similar style to this. So I'm consistent in that manner. All right, that is Magic Dreamland. That's by Mei Zhang, possibly. One that I got, I think, this year, possibly. I think I got it this year. Dreamweaver. I'd been hunting for it for a long time, years, I think, and I finally got it. Now, I haven't colored in it yet, but this one is Daunting. It's very chaotic. But I could leaf through this book time after time after time and not get bored. It's a really good illustration style. Sometimes I collect books just because I like the illustrator. I may not ever color in them. That doesn't bother me at all. And now I've totally lost count, so I don't know what number we're on, but up next is Fairy Shampoo by, who's it by? I'm pretty sure this book is out of print. I got it quite a few years ago. Original design, Yang Hee Lee. So yeah, I like the very design oriented. Now this is intentional design rather than say Zendoodly stuff inside. Each one is intentional to the fairy and their hair. They're kind of theme-like. I don't believe this book is in print anymore. It would be probably hard to get a hold of. And I gotta say, my list of the top 15 doesn't really, if you ask me on a different day, it would be in a different order. Until we get to the top few, they're not really that much in order. Up next is Cats. This is my most recent purchase. I've been on a kind of a low buy right now. I've been focusing on collage and jelly prints and stuff like that. Buying stuff, not doing it. I'm kind of getting started in the thing. So I've wanted this one for years and years and years. I finally found it. I saw it on Olga Rani's channel many, many years ago and have wanted it ever since, but it always has to come from overseas, so it's kind of difficult in that way. You either have to order a whole bunch of books with it or just pay like a lot in shipping, so it's complicated to sometimes get the coloring books you want. This is super cool though. You'll see my style that I like is pretty consistent. I love the nice dark lines. I like a dark line. I don't want a line that I can't see or is really skinny. That makes it hard to paint and do all kinds of mixed media on the paper. Okay. Up next is my all-time favorite tree book. This is Color Yourself to Tranquility, Trees by Melissa Laney, maybe? I'm not really sure how to say it. This tree book is awesome. It didn't have a page for me to work on, so I made my own test page. When I can, I like to test on the actual coloring book paper. This has really fabulous trees. I have a thing for trees, and this is my favorite book. Although I have several tree books, and I try to spread the love, I'd like to work in this one more. But then sometimes I feel like I'm favoring one too much over another. So I have a lot of books. I wanna share the love. So that was a buddy color with Mindy at Coloring with Cats and Orchids. Coloring Among Orchids and Cats. I'm sorry, I can't remember it. Yeah. Every tree, this is amazing because there's probably 100 in here. Every tree is different. And I don't know what the trees are, so they may or may not be colored realistically. That's an old one. Oh, that was a buddy color with Coloring with Kay. No, Carrie Kay at Coloring Hermit. I got my K's mixed up, sorry. All right, up next, I think this one was purchased last year. This is Occult and Folklore, and I've been working a lot in it ever since then. This book is fabulous. It doesn't seem very occulty to me, but it looks like folk art meets the occult meets the style I like. A lot of these are based on maybe a famous painting. famous, this is the zodiac map kind of thing. So there's a whole list here of what each thing is based off of. And so let's see here. This one that we did, this was a buddy color. I can't remember Kiara. It's with Kiara. This was the one of the solstice where they do the jumping over the fire. I can't remember if it was summer or winter. And this other one I did was based on a Rococo wallpaper. That's not very occulty. So that's pretty much from fine art. And then there's this page. This is based on Klimt's The Kiss, which I love. I want to do that one a lot. This is based on a famous Renaissance painting, I believe. No, medieval painting, Dark Ages painting, Madonna and Child, something like that. Yeah, so they're based on lots of cool and interesting things. So yeah, that is a great wallpaper page. All right, so yeah, that's been getting a lot of love and will probably continue to get a lot of love moving forward. All right, we've got the original Beauty of Horror. I love Alan Robert. This is probably my favorite book from him. I think this one is not based on a theme, whereas most of his other books are based on themes, which is probably why I like this one, because we've just got lots of cool stuff. We've got the man-eating plant. I'm kind of over the whole theme book thing. I don't know. Maybe that's how artists have to do it for some reason with publishers or something, but I don't really think you need a theme. But yeah, this is my favorite one. Although I have liked it, he's a must buy because I love his stuff, especially in the series. I think a new one's coming out this year, and of course I'll have to get it most likely. Up next is Kirby Roseanne's. He's definitely a favorite and a must buy, but I couldn't decide. Now from his Worlds series, this is probably my favorite one, although, what was it called? Mythic Worlds? That one is really, really good too. But Alien Worlds, I mean, it's about space. So, this is my favorite book from the Worlds category. And I think he's starting down a new path. I think his new one is about dark fairy tales, which I don't know about that. We'll have to see when it comes out. Now, I think I like his earlier style best. Although that's not to say that I don't like the World books and whatever will come after that. I'm sure I'm going to like those too. I can't decide which book is my favorite. Probably Anamorphia or Mythomorphia, but Imagimorphia is pretty darn good too. I do like this doodly style a lot. So I don't think it's this book, but let's see, what did I color in here? Oh, this is from the very early coloring times. Massively Altered, There's No Place Like Home. I added that also. It was just a spider web there. So my early days of messing around with altering pages. That's a good one. But I do think it is probably Anamorphia or Mythomorphia. That is my favorite. Probably Mythomorphia. I don't know. It's really hard to pick. I do like animals a lot, but this has very interesting creatures. So yeah, this spot was hard to pick which one I would pick for Kirby. So much goodness in Kirby. All right, up next is kind of one of my tangents. Late in 2023 and all of 2024, I've been on a Millie Marotta kick. And I can't decide which one is my favorite work. My guess is these two came out very close to each other. What is this? Tropical World? Tropical World. I like... Oh, that bled through. I don't recall it doing that. These seem like very similar drawing styles, so I wonder if they were created like subsequently. I like how these ones fill up the page more than some of her other works. But there's this one, and there's Curious Creatures. I think I'm working on one in here. Yeah, I'm working on one. Kind of a tie between these two, so they get, like, I love that one. I do like her books that they tell you what the animal is, so you can look it up too. So yeah, having a Millie Marotta moment, so she had to make the list. I don't know which books. I think probably I'd have to look at my list, but the artist I colored the most may have been Hanna Karlzon this year. But I'll do that in one of my year in review videos. I haven't tallied the list yet, but I think it's hard because I like all of her books. She's kind of a must-buy. I think this might be my favorite book, though. A lot of artists, it's close to their early styles for some reason for me. Although I like all of her later books. I think she has one out that I haven't gotten yet, which is the winter book or Christmas. I don't know what it is. Wasn't crazy about that, but I couldn't make it through a flip through without like changing channels. That's not a good sign. But we'll have to see. It's not coming out in this country until like next year. October or November of next year. That's a long time to wait. Which I don't like when they do that. They could release it, I would think, sooner. But yeah, so that is Hanna Karlzon's Daydreams. All right, we're getting down to the final few. These are, I can't decide between the two. These are First Nations coloring book. They come out of Australia. Again, Australia. And I just love this Aboriginal art. Of course, me traveling to Australia and New Zealand in my 20s was a big moment when I discovered Aboriginal art. That was a huge moment, a huge art history moment for me. So I was super excited to find these. And actually a friend sent me I got this one, but a friend sent me my first one. So kind of her. I appreciate that very much. And yeah, these are super duper awesome. They're fun and easy to color. I mean, it's because it's very intuitive. Everything will be linked below for you in case you want to get it. Up next is, all right, this is number 2. So First Nations was 3. Joanna Basford is 2, and then we'll see who number 1 is in just a second. Now, my favorite book by Joanna is Magical Jungle, but this is an extremely close second. I could see finishing either of these books someday. I'm not going to make that a goal anytime soon, though that just seems like it would lead to failure. But I like these books because this is where I really started altering pages in Joanna Basford books. And I think my first altered page, well, actually my first altered page was the first coloring page I ever did, but I think my first intentionally altered page was this one, I believe. Yeah, so I have had a very good time altering Joanna Basford's pages. Oh, that's one I finished this year. That took forever. That's all Prismacolor. So there are other ones in here as well. And World of Flowers is just amazing. I don't like her latest stuff as much, although she is a must-buy, so I have been getting it because it's awesome. And like I said, it lends itself well to altering pages, which I like to do. So I haven't gotten her latest one yet, but I will eventually when it comes on Book Outlet probably. All right, and drum roll please. Number 1 is exactly the same as whenever I did this 3 or 4 years ago. It's Tomislav Tomic, and it is not this one. This is a very close second. Super awesome. I've done one in here. This is a buddy color with Jojosa Hanna. I finished that one this year. I was on a finishing old whips. This whip took like 2 or 3 years, I can't remember. But I finally finished it. Yes. This is a very close second. But my favorite one has to be Dramenwager. Wanger? I don't know how to say it. But it's this one. This one is inspired. I think this was the first book. And the style is very consistent with the kind of style that I like. This one might be a little less, this is less Zendoodly and more intentional design, but it's still got all kinds of lots of details and designs and patterns and things. I think that makes it easier to color. I'm not very into coloring realistically. My brain likes a pattern. It has always been so. But yeah, these two are so, and it's kind of the precious. I don't want to mess it up. I haven't colored in it yet. But I did have to order these out of Germany, I think. So yeah, they came a long way. All right, that has been my top 15 selection for 2025, and this is just a snapshot in time. If you ask me 2 weeks from now, it would probably change a little bit on the outer edges, not like top ones, but yeah, I could change my mind at any time. But that's it for today. So we will see you next time. Live long and prosper. Bye-bye.